Looks like we're live.
It does? I don't see it. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Hi, everyone. Um, we are here live. We're using StreamYard today. So that means if you want to ask a question, you have to give StreamYard permission by clicking on that little link in the description box. So I'm Dallas Piana. I'm your host here at Coaches Scaling Secrets and Strategies. And today I have an incredible special guest from AWeber. Her name is Kelsey Johnson, and she is an expert in product process, and there was something else.
In processes and marketing for small businesses.
That's it. And she's been doing this a long time, so she knows quite a bit. And you know what? When they reached out to me and asked, would my community here in our group want to know more about campaigns, segmenting, and tags, I was like, yeah, I want to know. That's where I get stuck. I know like just a piece of segmenting, and I have never used tags, so I can't wait to learn all about that. So if you're just hopping on, say hi below so we can see who's here. Also know that stream is StreamYard, okay? So you have to click on that little blue lit up URL to give StreamYard permission to show your name so we see who's on here. If you have questions along the way, it's probably just go ahead and post them below in the comments. And as I'll be kind of monitoring them on my phone as they come up. And if I find that we're at a time where let's ask that question, I'm going to interrupt Kelsey and we'll ask her the question. Otherwise, we'll wait to the end. We'll go through everything. So I have already questions. So you want to share your screen, Kelsey, and we can get going?
Absolutely. Yeah. I wanted to get started by saying I'm the product marketing manager at AWeber. But yeah, my entire career has been working with small businesses on like automation processes and marketing. And what I really, really care about is things that are accessible. I understand that marketers tend to use these big words, or not big words, but marketing words that really make it seem like some of this stuff is difficult. And some of it is really difficult and really complicated, but not in the way that I like to describe it. This should be an explanation that helps you get from, I know very little about this subject or absolutely nothing to I at least know what this is and I know how to get started with it. And then from there, there's so many different ways that you can personalize segmentation and tagging, and hopefully you can have like one step up and you can start to figure out what it is that you actually need in your business.
Great. There, most of the people in this group or who will be watching the replays are coaches. They're just starting out. They are expert as coaches, but now they're learning marketing to advertise and promote themselves. And they're like, so make it simple is great. The other thing I want to add, you guys, I've been using AWeber as my autoresponder since I started marketing. So 10 years plus. It is so intuitive. And I've worked with other, clients that have different, email systems, and there are a lot of complicated ones out there. This is very intuitive. It's very step by step. It makes sense. And that's why I love it. And I'm hesitant ever, when people dangle a new, better email system out there, I'm always like, no, this is perfect for me.
Well, of course, we love to hear that. All right, so let me hop in. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. If you want me to head in another direction or you have a specific question to your business, I'm happy to address that as we're going along through here. This is kind of an overview, and I want to make sure that we're making it your presentation, useful to you. So I'm going to present my screen here.
I think I have to click on it. Yeah.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to go over tags and segments for your email list. There's a lot of different tagging and segmentation that's done in other places, but this is specifically going to be for your emails. I've also made this presentation available forever at bit.ly/tags-segments. That will take you to this slide deck in case you want to reference it at some point in the future or look through some of my examples that I made. First of all, what are tags and segments? These, like I said, are some of these marketing terms that can be really inaccessible, but basically a tag is just a keyword or a phrase or something that you choose to assign a group of the subscribers in your account to group them together. So if you have an entire list of, in this example, I'm going to go for our demo account is a chef who offers cooking classes and cookbooks. So if you have an entire group of subscribers who want to get your newsletters, you might have a segment of them who are vegetarian, and you will tag them all with an indicator like vegetarian in order for you to, at some point in the future, no matter when, be able to see that that segment is vegetarian. They can be added manually, they can be added automatically, and it's really just a tracking system to help you keep track of who people really are in your group. A segment, you can use tags to create segments. So segments are that subgroup, but it's sort of an ongoing list. And I'll go into this a little bit further, but basically a segment is the determined group, like the vegetarian. A tag is just something that you attribute to a single person that you can use to bring them into a segment. And why should you tag and segment your audience? Basically, when you have a group of customers or prospects that you send emails to or that you're targeting content for, it is more likely for them to get more from you and also want to spend more with your business, want to click that purchase button, click that subscribe button, if you can give them messaging that is really specifically talking to exactly what they need. So if you can figure out a couple of different groups of people who are followers or who are subscribers for your business, then you can send them different messages so that they're not getting stuff that doesn't matter to them. And then the people that you are sending stuff to, you can be more specific in your messaging for them.
This would decrease the unsubscribed list people.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes people like your business better, which makes them spend more, but it also makes them refer you better. It makes them want to write good reviews. It's kind of just a client happiness skill, or tactic. And so, you think of it as like, oh, segmentation, it sounds like such a scary thing, but really it's doing something positive for your subscribers, for your customers. Or, in this case, as coaches for your clients.
Right.
So, in this example, our demo account is a cook, a chef who's providing, courses maybe online or selling their cookbooks, and they have a group. And so they are a group of subscribers. And so this is where you're going to want to get started in actually creating these tags and segments, right? So if you have a form that you're using, and this, this is Aweber specific forms, but this is actually going to apply to any platform that you're using. Any platform that has segmentation and tags is going to have some form of this system. So basically, wherever you're bringing those subscribers in initially into your platform, you can just add other custom questions onto it, right? So in this case, you're asking the name and email of the person, but also, are they a vegan? Are they a vegetarian? Are they paleo? And you're going to
do that right on the landing page.
Right on the landing page, right on the form, wherever it is that you are grabbing their name and email in the first place.
Great. And so many of us use like a lead magnet, a free resource to get people on our list. So this, you guys, is like the landing page to collect that information. And what Kelsey's saying is take it one step further. So you're asking 3 questions. So okay. So now what?
Yeah. And so I will say, don't go crazy with this. Don't ask them like 18 questions. You want those most essential things, at least to start. So now when you send out this email, so this is an example of an email you're sending, you can use that previous question you used to originally tag your subscriber and send the content that's only relevant to them. So if I'm sending out this email with this grilled lemon salmon with zucchini, right? Vegans aren't going to want that. Vegetarians, maybe, right? Because some vegetarians eat fish and some don't, but probably not as well. Paleo, definitely, right? This is a paleo meal. But you'll notice that I also am not sending it to everyone. Because if I send it to everyone, the vegans and vegetarians get this email as well, and they're going to see that and say, I don't want this. It might not irritate them, but if you're not sending this email to them, you can choose to send another email to them that they actually are going to have a positive experience with, right? A vegetarian dish or a vegan dish. And so this is sort of the breakdown, right? You pull the person in with that original information, and then the information that you send to them in the emails that you're sending to them is targeted to what they want. So that's kind of like a real simple breakdown on, step one, step two, how it works. Obviously,
and this also allows, a lot of people are afraid to niche down. They don't want to niche down. They don't want to completely, in the people that they coach or service to, they don't want to go so narrow down that they, don't share their expertise with a wider audience. And doing this segment or tagging people, your messages are going out to the subset of your niche, right?
That's exactly right. And it can help you identify your niche better too. If you are just collecting the name and email of everyone, you might not know that 80% of the people who are filling out that form are actually paleo. And right. So maybe you should be spending a little bit more time on creating that content for that niche in your course.
Or in what area of expertise are they in? If you are like a business coach, are you dealing with mostly novices, someone that are, have a healthy business, someone's advanced, everyone's at different stages. This Absolutely. Is fantastic.
Absolutely. And that's something that you should think about doing anyway. I mean, you made such a great point that finding a niche is really the way to excel. But if you do this sort of segmentation, you don't have to alienate those people who don't fit into your niche. You can still serve them, but you can serve them effectively while focusing more of your time and energy on, the people who are making you the money, making you the most money.
Yeah.
So here's a couple more suggestions on segments, right? So we don't just have to do it based off of a question that you ask them. Or a preference they have, although, that can be really effective. You can segment people based off of whether they are a prospective client or a current client, whether they are a VIP person. And I'll go into this a little bit further, but
that's a good idea.
Yeah, the way that
current clients.
The way that you can segment people and add tags to people isn't just that form. So there's a lot of different ways that you can add these tags. That was just sort of the main simplistic example, but you can do it behind the scenes and automatically. So you don't have to ask somebody, are you a current client of mine, in order to put them into a segment of clients. Those VIPs, wonderful. You can exclude VIPs as well, which could be really useful if you want to send out a blast, but a certain segment of your clients already know certain things or don't want to see that messaging. You can segment people or add tags based off of the product or service that they purchased, the course that they purchased. Maybe they got an initial course from you, but you have a more expanded one. You can segment people based off of that. By geographic location, if that's relevant to you. You can actually tag and segment people based off of whether or not they've opened your previous messages or clicked on links in the messages. You can choose other demographics. Usually you do that based off of a form, but you can also pull in data sometimes of people and add tags or segments based off of that, whether it's a location-based thing or maybe a gender or, other sorts of preferences. And then you can also tag people based off of where you got them as a lead. You were talking about lead magnets earlier. You can actually automatically tag people so that you know which place you're bringing those leads in from and how effective that's being in the long run. I will obviously not go through all of those today because it is, a very, very robust thought. But these are all things that you should start thinking about in terms of, creating your first tags and segments. So what segments make sense for your audience? I would encourage anyone who's watching this to, if you're thinking of it right now, just write down 3. Write down on a piece of paper, on your notes app, wherever you do it, write down 3 segments of your audience that you think might be really, really good groups to separate out in terms of niches in your audience and customer base. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of the ways that you can add a tag in Aweber. This is going to be very similar no matter what platform you're in. So, I just want to show you in Aweber because that's the platform that we have, but it's actually incredibly simple. So the first way you can add them is manually. So you can go into your account dashboard, go to your subscribers. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, hold on one second. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I have to stop sharing. I got kicked out of my account.
No problem.
But yeah, so going through this process initially, there's just a couple of different ways that you can do it fairly easily, manually, through the form, and then you can bulk upload tags. So if you have a spreadsheet full of people who are, you already know that you want to add a tag to this group of people, you can bulk upload. And then I'll talk about a couple of the other ways that we can tag people as well.
Okay.
I'm so sorry about this. I am.
So really tagging is, good to do from the beginning, as soon as, as they're opting into your email list, right? For whatever list you're putting them on, right? Because you can have multiple different lists, but if you could tag them from the beginning, that is helpful, right? To asking the right questions on that landing page. And I think of segmenting is done with the list that you start to segment.
Right. So tagging is the way that you're indicating the person. And segmenting is the way that you're using those tags.
Okay.
So tagging is the action that's being done to the subscriber, and segmentation is the act that's being done to the list. So you're sort of pulling the list of subscribers. The tag is being added to the person.
Yes.
All right. I'm so sorry. Give me one more minute.
Not a problem.
To get in here.
If you're on, say hi below so I can see who's on. I know a lot of people are going to catch this signed up, like 20 people signed up to see this presentation. So I know a lot of people will be looking at the replay. And if you are doing the replay, you guys write down #replay so I know who this was beneficial for and if we need to do it again. Yeah.
Okay, we got back into my account here. Can you see it? Do I have it pulled up?
I'm going to click on it. Yeah, hold on. Here we go. Yes.
And this can be sometimes a little small, so I'm going to blow it up a little bit here. So going back to this tab, basically we're adding a manual tag to a person. So if you want to, in your Aweber account, add a tag to a person, this is how you do it. You go to your subscribers.
Yeah.
You choose a person.
Mm-hmm. So it's individually at this point.
Individually, or you can, I don't know why it's only showing one person for me here, but individually you can add a tag.
Okay.
By editing, or you can select multiple people to add tags to.
At the same time?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know why I'm seeing I'm not seeing everyone here. Let's see. Well, I'm having a hard time showing this off in my actual account, so I'm just going to show it here. So basically what you do is you'll see a list of your subscribers here, and you can open up a subscriber and just click on tags and then just type in a tag.
So where do you make your tag? Do you make your tags in their like what are you calling it? Their dashboard?
Yeah, in their listing, I would call it. Yeah, so you have all of their information, right? We've got their name, we've got their email address, we've got when they were added, the source, lots of different information about them here.
Is there a generic place where you're creating tags for your email marketing, and then you're choosing which one you want to tag them into when you open up the subscriber?
Well, you can make them on the fly. And one of the important things to remember is that you want to maybe write down your tags or keep track of them so that you're not accidentally having small variants on them. Like in that previous example, if somebody has a paleo diet, you wouldn't want to have somebody say paleo diet is one person's tag and then paleo is another one. You want them all to be the same so that you can keep those the same. Paleo.
Yeah.
And then if you want to do multiple, you select multiple people here, you click actions and you can tag multiple people manually there as well.
Great.
And then you can also add them in your forms in Aweber. This is a form that you can create to put on your site, but also on your landing page if you want. And you basically create a new field. So this form had name and email, and a brand new field was created called diet. And then you add the choice, but then you apply the tag over here on this side, and remembering to keep those tags exactly the same.
And that's on the form. So that'll be populated when you pull up the new area to create this diet, that will pop up.
This pops up as a choice. Yeah. So it's called a custom field.
Okay.
And you can just create whatever custom field you want.
Great.
Basically inside of there. And I can show you how to do that.
Is it a sign-up form or a landing page you're doing it on?
Either way.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
You can do it on your landing page in the form that you have.
Right.
Add it underneath here. See how it says add a form field right here?
Yes.
You can create, a custom field down here.
Okay.
Manage your custom fields here, and that's how you add a new one. And then here, why don't we just go ahead and do that? So we'll say
and then okay, got it. Add. Yeah, and you can add as many as you want, custom fields underneath that.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, you can create up to 25 custom fields. Wow.
And then, if you're going to do it in the form.
So that'll automatically kind of go into their form area that describes them.
Yes.
Wow.
So this is an automation that we're setting up. So we are setting it up one time. This form that we have, name, email, or whatever. You can create a new custom field that you create one time, right? We'll say the field name is diet in the same example. Mm-hmm. Next, checkbox, which diet they're on. What did we have? We had select multiple. So we're going paleo, and then we're going to apply the tag here, paleo.
Got it.
Add that vegan.
Got it.
And so that's how we add those in. And in this example, it's a drop down. But this is only created one time. Every single time somebody fills out this form on your website, that tag is being added to them.
Right.
So that's where the power really is here, right? It's not that you can manually go in and tag a bunch of people, but a ton of the power that comes from these tagging and the segmentation is being able to automatically have every
it
single
already done.
person
Right.
give you their information. And we've seen
Right.
this, right? We've seen it on forms that we've filled out that have questions for us. That is exactly what those people are doing when we fill out those forms. They're
Yep.
asking us information about us so that they can give us the right information.
Yep. This is customer research, you guys.
So this is just the initial part of adding tags in, right? So all we're doing right now is giving everybody a tag, and we're not doing anything with it yet. We're just collecting this information. And this is something you can start doing now, because it doesn't do anything until you do something with it. So it's actually a good idea to get started with those, segments that you maybe already have written down, to get started adding tags to the people that you already have in your list.
Yeah.
And, like I said, this is how to do it in Aweber, but it's also very, very easy and accessible in, your platform. So definitely start thinking about it there. I said this before, but this is something to keep in mind as you start adding more and more tags. Keep them consistent, because it's going to make it easier for us to do the second part of what I'm going to explain to you today, which is create the segments and use them. And also another note on this point is don't make the tags too vague or broad, or even kind of referential. Try to be extremely explicit with what the tag is, so that if you create a tag or a set of tags now, but then you go back and look at them in a year, you know exactly what they are without having to remember.
Right. Like, what was that tag reference to?
Yeah.
Not
so
good.
like if it is prospects, go prospects. If it is customers or clients, go clients. If it's, Los Angeles, say Los Angeles. So keep that in mind. So the other ways that you can tag subscribers, and I will say, if you do use Aweber, we have a really, really wonderful client success team, our support team, that you can ask for help with a lot of this stuff too. They're even more experienced than I am with this platform, but you can bulk upload them. You can tag people based on the sign-up form that they use. So if you have a specific landing page that has a discount code that you only give to a certain set of people, or that you only put on a certain website, right? You used this landing page explicitly for your Facebook promotion or for a certain lead magnet. You can actually tag all of those people so that you know that they came from that specific landing page or sign up form. You can tag people based off of actions.
So interesting. So ding, 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 ding. So instead of creating a new list, for if somebody is downloading a new lead magnet, from your master list, let's say you have 1,000 people on a master list and 100 of them download your new lead magnet, you don't have to create a new list.
Nope.
This way. All you have to do is tag them as they are coming into the landing page.
Yes. And
then an email would go out to just them?
If that's how you set it up. And that is, you really hit on a perfect point here, which is segmentation should replace multiple lists. You really only need to have, if you can set this up properly, you really only need to have one list per main subject. And then you can create segments instead of separate lists.
That's good, because my question that I've been doing is creating a separate list. As people want what I want to provide, they go on a new list, right? They move from one list to another, but how do I bring them back?
Right. Exactly.
In the order I want them to be in, because
exactly.
I've got a campaign going.
And so what you can do is you can add so let's say you have a lead magnet, right? And somebody fills out this form because they want some sort of resource that you're going to send them, maybe like an ebook or something.
Right.
And so you can add a tag which automatically puts that person into a campaign in the same list that they're already in. This is somebody who's already in your account. You add a tag, it adds them to a segment, which I'll go over next. Then they get a certain campaign, and then you can set up at the end of that campaign, a campaign being like maybe 3 or 4 emails, or maybe even just one email, right? And sending them the book.
to receive the product.
Exactly. Then once they've received that email, then you can take the tag off. And that's automatic. You don't have to do that manually. So you take that tag off, they don't get that campaign anymore, and they just go right back into the bucket that they were in before.
The master list.
Exactly.
So again, you promote the product, 100 people say yes, they move into, you segment, they automatically, you're segmenting them over into another list just to receive the product and the email. And then at the end of it, they move shift back. I want to know how to do that.
Well, that might be V2, but I can definitely show you V1, which is getting them into the list in the first place.
Okay,
maybe if we have enough time, then I'll show you how to set up taking the tag off.
Okay.
But yeah, it's supposed to be a system that's like a little bit less intuitive on the front end than creating a new list, but it's actually better for you in the long run.
Yeah, yeah. Because now I have too many subsets going on now.
Right. So here's how to create a segment. So I was having a hard time. Let me see if I can. Oh, you know what? I figured it out. I was in the wrong list. My demo account has lots of lists too.
Okay.
So let's see if I can find a list with some more subscribers in it. Sorry about this. This is something that I should have already had. And I...
Yes, Leman, you asked if Aweber has a landing page. Yes, they have a landing page. It's like a new feature in the last 6 months, I think, that you don't have to have a third party with a landing page. You can create landing pages right there per list with the list.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I can't find any subscribers here, of course. I apologize for this. Let's see. So we're going to have to go. Yep. Why don't I show you in the meantime? And this is aweber.com/templates/landing-pages. Even if you don't have an Aweber account, or if you do, you can go here and take a look at our templates. And so if you're looking for something, to set up in our landing page builder, which by the way is completely included. There's no additional cost to use this. You can make as many landing pages as you want, but you can look through this gallery and, take a look at.
And it's very simple to use. It's like, it's already, all you have to do is just, eliminate what you don't want, put in what you want. It's not like you're starting from scratch. Like a lot of them is like a shell and then you've got to build it. They've actually kind of created the template, which is fantastic.
Yeah, we've created a bunch of templates. You can take a look at them. And then if you have your account open, you can just copy the landing page. It'll pull it into your account really easily. You can open it up and make adjustments to it. So there we go. And then you can publish it. And you don't need a domain or anything for that either. It'll just go live and you can start promoting it and getting signups there. So it's a fairly new feature that we have in the past year. And it's a really great way to get subscribers and get segmented subscribers there as well. All right, so let's go back to, I think I was not able to find a single list with subscribers on it, unfortunately. So we're just going to go back to my presentation here. So basically, when you're in your subscribers, you've got a list of them down here. You can choose how to segment them based off of certain criteria. So if you are, let's take a look at this one. So you can search, and here's the tag option here. So you can search based off of a tag. So if we did do those vegans, we had those paleo people and the vegans and the vegetarians, we can create a segment based off of tag. But you can also create a segmentation based off of other information that you may have pulled in. So whether they've visited a certain web page, if they are in a certain city that you've collected. A lot of this information can come in from integrations that you might have, or you might have pulled it in with an initial spreadsheet, which is how you got your subscribers pulled into your account. Keep that in mind. Tags is the most often way to create a segment, but you have all of these other options as well. And so once you've searched for it, you say the tag is, and then you search for the tag in there, which is vegan. You can actually save this as a new segment. So you've saved it as a segment, and it just sort of exists as a segment in your account now. Subscribers, search.
So if I wanted to email a month from now, these people that are tagged, it's already a segment already created, and I just click on it. That's what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
And furthermore, it's all of the people who have signed up and had that tag added in the meantime as well.
Okay.
So it's not just the moment that you create it, it's
cumulative.
And whenever you do send that email, it will be the truth of exactly all of the people at that moment who have that tag.
Great.
And then, so once you have that segment set up, then you, in order to send to the segment, you can do that when you're sending out a broadcast. So there's several different ways that you can send emails in Aweber. We call a one-off email that you just create once and send, and it never goes out again. We call that a broadcast. And the other one we call a campaign. And so if you're sending in a broadcast, you basically go choose draft, send options, and then schedule your broadcast. And then you edit who should receive the message. So in this list, Tara's Healthy Eats, is that the one that I could find? If I'm going into my broadcasts and I created a broadcast and I want to send it out, I'm going to send this broadcast out. Let's see here. Going send options, schedule a broadcast. So this is what we're looking at before we send the broadcast out. And in who should receive this message, right now, active subscribers is what's selected. But you can edit this and choose a segment. And so, you know, like you mentioned, I might have created this segment 6 months ago, and it might still be collecting all of those people. But all of a sudden today, I decided that I wanted to send out a broadcast to that specific group of people. They just exist in here. So I created the email, I made it, you gave it messaging that would resonate with those people. And, you know, I can add online class number 1. Those are the people, they've already been to my number 1 class. And those are the people that I'm sending this out to today. And then I just click apply. And that's the only group of people that are going to get this message in this list. If you want to do like what we talked about before, how we're automating, giving people automation.
Do they know that they've been segmented?
No.
Good. Okay.
They do not know that they've been segmented. I mean, you can kind of estimate and you can be transparent about it, you know, say, we want to gather this information about you so that we can send you the right information.
Right. But I'm saying, like, you know, if I want to segment into past clients, current clients, right?
Yeah. No, they do not know.
They don't know that they're a past client. Okay.
No, not in any way, unless you explicitly tell them so.
Okay.
And yeah, so if I want to add a tag to somebody if they've opened the message. So let's say you send this out and if somebody opens it, you want to make sure that you set a tag to the fact that they've opened this message, so that you can maybe take the rest of that group and send them another message that says something else or that has a slightly different subject line. And just to see if you can, you know, grab their attention a little bit more, then you can add opened message. And if they've opened this message and they already have a set of tags, like remember we talked about that, the sending out the ebook on that lead magnet. Let's say a bunch of people, we've tagged them already because they came in to get the lead magnet, and then we're going to send out this broadcast that gives them the lead magnet after, you know, a couple months or something. We can remove lead magnet here. And then they're completely removed from that list if they've opened this message. But if they don't open it, you don't know that they actually got that lead magnet that you send them, so you can send them another one, or you can put them on a different follow-up list or something like that. And then you just, that one's not going to show up because that tag doesn't already exist in my system. Apply that, and then it's going to make me enter a subject line. And then I can send this. Send the message now. So yeah, so it's kind of a really simple system to get started with, and to you know, just create the tags, create maybe just the one tag. Maybe it's previous customers, and maybe you're pulling in a list of those previous customers and tagging all of them, and then you want to send out this broadcast just to them. You can kind of go through that process of adding all of the tags to those previous customers, creating a segment, and then sending out a broadcast to all of them just to say, you know, hey, what's going on? Are you interested in hearing about my new course or my new information or my new resource that I have? If so, click here.
So my question is, so I'm giving a master class, and so I'm promoting it to my 1,000 people on my list. And do I create a new list to move them into? Because I now want to do a campaign with them over the next 2 weeks.
No, I would say if you have an entire list, but you have 1,000 people that you want to send
them an invitation to, yeah, an email to, and then I want them to click on a registration, like a landing page, to register for a masterclass.
Well,
do I send them to a new list?
No, I would just everybody who clicks on that and registers using your landing page, give them a tag, and then create a segment based off of that tag. And then you do not need to create a new list at all. You can just send out to that segment for create a campaign that goes out to that entire group of people who have signed up for that masterclass.
Okay. I'm going to have to try that out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
right now there's a way you can go into the list and you can say, if they click on this, then you remove them from that list.
Yes.
You know, but my problem is they're over here on this list now, but now I want to bring them back. So it's what I've been doing is creating a CVS file and then uploading them back into the master list. But you're saying I can eliminate that whole thing with segmenting.
If they are already on a separate list, you can do the CVS, right? You can pull them into your main list, but I would tag them, right? So that you know. And you can just create a new column, call it tag, or as you're uploading, you know, you can go through this process. I'll show you as you're uploading, which I'm sure you've done if that's the process that you're going through, where you import multiple people.
Right.
You're maybe pulling.
I'm pulling them back into the master list because I don't want them out into a separate list anymore. It's over. The master class is over. I want them back into the main list.
Right. So if you are pulling them over and back into the main list, then you can go through this process of importing your subscribers. Now, these are subscribers that already maybe exist in your list, or maybe you're pulling them into your list. Make sure if you're pulling them from one list into another, you're not doing the confirmed opt-in, so they don't get that email
right.
opt in. But you get to this more options process in your import subscribers.
I could add a tag right there.
You could say,
masterclass, which masterclass they were in.
Masterclass A.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There we go.
Yes.
You can give them a bunch, current clients. Give them a bunch of tags or just one so that you know who they are.
If you send out an email, this is something random.
Mm-hmm.
Send out an email to list A, and I'm sending out a list email, the same email, because I'm going to send it out to 2 different lists, and the same person's on 2 different lists. Would they get 2 emails, or would it only send it to one of their names?
So you know how that when we were scheduling that draft?
Yeah.
When we sent this to schedule, if you're sending it to this current list, you can actually, in addition to these subscribers, you can include subscribers on these lists, right?
That's what you're talking about. What if someone's on 2 lists? Would they get the email twice?
Oh, not if you do it this way. So if I click on garden and stuff and I include that list too, that anyone that happens to be on both of those lists is only going to get 1 email. Now, if you created a whole separate email and then sent it to that separate list, they would get that one twice.
Got it. Okay, great. That's always was my fear. Oh, you certainly don't want to bombard people.
Yeah.
So, well, she's asking, is Aweber free to start? Do you want to go over the, isn't it free now?
Yeah. So Aweber is free to get started with. I'm going to go here because this is my sort of general questions screen. And you can get started. You can get started just at, you have a specific code, right? Or a specific URL?
Yep.
I'm going to stop showing this right now because I'm not being helpful, I think, anymore with my clicking around. So there's a free account that you can get started with. So especially if you want to get just one list created, you want to start bringing some people in and playing around with creating landing pages. All of that is available on our free account.
Up to how many people on a list?
Up to 1 list with 500 people on it.
That's a lot.
It is a lot of people. The segmentation creation is only available in our pro account. But the pro account, I think, is $19.95. So, really, especially if you already have people per month. Yes. So if you have people, $19.99. If you have, if you're working on the segmentation and that's really effective for you, then it's very, very worth it. But yes, I would highly recommend just signing up for an account right now and playing around with this. You can pull in your subscribers really easily. You can use that template gallery to pick out landing page templates that you like and maybe start creating those forms where you're collecting people. You can, those you don't need to set up with a domain or anything. So you can actually just create a landing page, put your information into it, have those people going directly into your list and publish it. And it's not like a very pretty URL or anything. It's not going to be like kelseyjohnsonscourse.com.
You can always shorten it.
You can shorten it, or you can put it into like your Facebook page. So your Facebook page, you put in a link. On Facebook, it just says, click here to sign up. So it doesn't really matter what the URL looks like at that point. And I highly, highly recommend that you just get into the free version and start playing around with it and seeing what you can do with it to start.
Another question is, I know there's a payment, you have a Stripe edition. Is that part of the paid, or is that part of the paid plan?
No.
Or is that a part of the free plan too?
Yeah, so we do have a very cool new feature that is basically an e-commerce page. So you can set up a landing page to have somebody purchase your course on that page. You don't even need a website anymore. Right. And you integrate it with Stripe, and that's available on our free version. The only difference between the free version and the pro version for that is that there is an e-commerce fee that goes along with it, which is actually quite small relative to the market. And it's 1% if you have a free account, and it's 0.6% if you have a pro account.
Got it.
So if you are going to if you have a sort of more expensive course that you're selling, you just run the numbers, and at a certain point, it's going to be worth it for you to pay $20 a month for that. We also have something very cool new, which is payment plans. So let's say your course is maybe $2,000, and it's really great for everyone, not just people who can afford $2,000 out of pocket. You can actually set that up as a weekly, monthly, or even yearly payment plan. So that person sets up the payment plan, it's automatically run either weekly, monthly, or yearly until the full course is paid off. Wow. And so that's something that's really great for coaches.
Yeah. Great. Okay. I think that's all the questions here. Super. I can't thank you enough, Kelsey. This has been fantastic. And I'm looking forward to trying it out.
Yes, absolutely. And again, I am, as I was telling Dallas, I'm fairly actually new to Aweber. I am not the expert. The real experts on using the Aweber platform in all of these ways are our support team. They troubleshoot all day long, and they are, available 24/7 to really help you customize what these segments and tags can do for your business. So you can email them or live chat them or call. I think calling is only, during weekday hours, but you can even call them up and say, hey, listen, I actually want to create this segment using this tag on my landing page, and I can't quite figure out how to do
it. They're on top of it, like within hours, you're getting answers. It's none of this, see you later. I mean, that's what's so extraordinary about Aweber is the customer service is spot on. You are not left hanging at all.
You're not talking to a bot. You're not left hanging.
No.
You're a real person who really cares about your account. And it doesn't matter if you have a free or a pro account at that point. So I highly recommend asking them and just trying it out. Yeah, it's free. It's free to set up. It's free to get started. It's free to play around with. And, you can upgrade to the pro account once it's really worth it for your business.
Yeah. So I have an affiliate link. Of course, you have an affiliate link for everything. I will drop it into the description box. And, if you want to use that, that's great. I mean, I only get paid once you go into a pro account, I believe. So, and it's minuscule, but, it's great to help people out here. So I'll drop that in when we get done and just put a better title on this presentation so people can find it. And I think we're ready to wrap up, Kelsey.
Yeah, I think so. I appreciate everyone who was here and who asked questions about everything. And this is kind of new. Big businesses have been doing this for a while, but it's new for small businesses, and it's newly accessible and affordable. And it's really exciting because of that. And I think this is something that once you've got it set up, you're like, I can't believe I never did this before.
I know. I can't wait to try it.
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys. So that's it for today. If you have more questions, if you're watching the replay, just drop them below, and I'll either try to answer them or I will contact Aweber and get the answers for you like that. But thanks so much, Kelsey, for doing this. And we'll probably do it in another couple of months.
Yeah, sounds great. I'll be here.
Good.
Absolutely.
All right. Welcome to the team. Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye.